Want a toke? Just a little toke? Yeah, alright. What's better in life than sitting out on your own back porch smoking a joint? Huh. Okay, there are a lot of things that are better. Ah. Still a nice experience, though. I like to sit and pick out the different sounds. I have to close my eyes to do it, but to really hear everything that's going on around me. Hammering, dogs barking, cars driving. It's funny how many of our senses we block out. How many things that we hear all the time that we just block out because it's just, too distracting to notice everything. Like our field of vision, it's the exact same way. It's amazing. I guess you could take it to our sense of smell as well. When it becomes overwhelmed with too many smells, it just becomes you pick out one or two smells and the rest of it just kind of falls by the wayside. And with feeling, like if you have one little spot of touch, touch yourself on the knee, and you can feel that spot. If you touch a large area, it's harder to feel that one spot that's being touched. It's a sensory overload, in a way. This is why they have sensory deprivation tanks, and this is why you float in water. Actually, I've been wanting to do that for a long time. They have a place here in Portland you can do it. My buddy wanted to go, and he said, hey, should I take shrooms and go? I was like, dude, I think I would do the experience sober first, but after that, I think it would be great to eat mushrooms and go into a sensory deprivation tank and just have a crazy, wild experience. Actually, you want some more? Yeah. Our senses are just such an interesting thing, and how little we actually perceive with them. And this is why it's so difficult to meditate, because the less amount of external stimuli you have, the easier it is to pick out the slightest sound or breeze or temperature change. Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty interesting. Meditation's difficult. Well, difficult to do right. Or at least to do in a way that's actually productive and not just, sitting there hearing everything around you. But the whole idea is to use our sixth sense as our primary sense, which, if you believe in a sixth sense, if you will, I've had some experiences of synesthesia during my psychedelic experiences that are so surreal. When you can hear colors, see sounds. I didn't even know what it was back then. The first time I tripped really, really hard, I was listening to the knots on the wood panels on my wall. They were talking to me, and each knot had a different tone. And then when we listened to music, each beat of music, we were listening to Hendrix, I think, and it was all the different sounds created a different, color in the atmosphere. I saw that at a Grateful Dead show, that purple haze over the crowd, if you will. But mixing up the senses, when you have that experience, there's something else in there when you take psychedelics. In other words, while your senses of touch, taste, smell, hearing, they're all blended together into this synesthesia, as they call it, there's something else in there, another element, and it's indescribable. And it's like that sixth sense, if you will, I guess. It's the psychic component to a psychedelic experience. When all your neural pathways are open. So, if you want to, you could consider psychedelics to be either the exact opposite of a meditative experience or the exact same thing, depending on the results that you attain. Which is interesting, because I've never really thought about that before. Because I always assumed that, I consider psychedelics to be a foot in the door, if you will. But you have to leave your foot in the door, in other words. If you want to open that door permanently, or remove the door, you have to go through intensive practices, meditation, and whatnot. But I think that psychedelics give us a glimpse of that. But they do it by flooding our senses. In other words, negating the basic senses and making it all into one big sense, that sixth sense, if you will. It makes sense in my mind. It doesn't mean it makes sense to you, or that I can explain it or verbalize it. All these independent experiences arising, the way that we see and hear things that aren't there. Maybe we feel things that aren't there, but maybe they are there. And that's the sense that can never be proven. That's the non-scientific sense, if you will. The one that says that there's an awareness beyond the individual human. And that's as far as I'll take it, because I can't explain it beyond that. But that it does appear that there's a collective sense, a collective consciousness. Call it Gaia, call it universal mind. Carpo 719, signing out.